You first.
My name is Garrison.
Big gulp of
I play
water.
the Nerdist channel. And, wait, why am I here?
Remember, this is the chatting hour. This is going to be our little chatting hour.
What we do?
Okay. So, basically, this is our podcast. And we're going to be doing a new episode of, well, this podcast is called The Chatting Hour. Oh, and my name is Jacob, by the way. If you did not catch that properly. But
Yeah,
this is Chatting Hour. And basically we're just going to talk about stuff. That's every Tuesday is going to be a new episode of this. And this is the first episode. We got plenty of delightful topics ahead. So,
jazz.
we...
Let's see. We've got cars, we've got road trips, we've got language, we've got our takes on war, heat wave, explosives, farmers, and space travel, and that's just for tonight.
Yes. And there's going to be many, many more topics in the future. Well, hit that like and subscribe button right now if you haven't already. And,
Please.
yes. Please click those two buttons right now.
Please.
Now, please. Okay.
You gotta use the bathroom, man.
What?
You know, you should have used the bathroom before we started.
I already used the bathroom.
Are you talking like you came from another planet?
I don't know. The car packing plant. That's what it should be.
Alright, so starting off with topic 1, cars.
Yes. What is your take on cars?
My take on cars is they're pretty cool, but we need to be going to electric pretty soon, 'cause I don't like all the crap that's getting thrown up in my face when I try to skateboard behind one.
Don't they already have, like, electric cars, like, out?
Yeah, it's just more people need to embrace buying into them, because they're gonna be cheaper anyway.
How would it be cheaper to have, like, an electric car? In, like, what way? I know it's, like, the fact that you got, like, you don't have to use gas anymore, but then it's like you're using electricity.
Yeah, okay. Okay. These motors are these electric motors that they're going to be using, they're more powerful than you think. I remember thinking brushless motors were going to be too weak because they only work on induction without any brushes.
Yeah.
But apparently they're stronger, which I found out when I was using my drone a year ago. Anyway, another thing is maintenance. They're going to be a lot easier to troubleshoot, fix stuff, just because.
They're just electric.
Think of all the parts that are in an engine.
Yeah.
And then think of just battery to motors.
Huh.
Maybe the computer behind it, which in my turret, if you've been following this channel at all, probably heard about. I have done one video about it, and it's going pretty well. We're at the firing stages, and it's pretty fun. Anyway, what's your take on cars?
I hate them, to be honest. Like,
what would you rather take?
Like, I'd rather take my two perfectly good human feet and travel, like, in the direction I want to go. Like, seriously, there's electric cars out there. Yeah, it's nice and all, like, to have electric cars, but then it's like, you gotta figure out the ways, like, you need to plug them in. I've seen those, like, plug-in, like, car chargers at, like, certain places, and it's like, this is just ridiculous. Why not just...
They're all... Jacob, they're all the same. It's just an EV charging station.
Yeah, but it's basically just saying that your car is a giant phone, and you're just driving up to another place to plug it in.
Well, Jacob, we're in the digital age.
But
Everything's gonna be.
what if some douchebag comes up and knocks the cord out of your car? And
Well,
it's
then
like
it
you
pauses
come
charging.
back from the store. Imagine, let's say you go to like a grocery store that has like the brand new like electric car chargers just in the parking lot, and it's
I've seen
like
them.
then it's like just some douche just comes up, smacks the cord right out of the car, and it's like just walks off thinking it's like, okay, you shouldn't have an electric car, and it's like you don't deserve it to be charged, and you come back from the store and your car's battery is on low, and it's like, what do you gotta do? Go back, plug the car back in, go back in the store, and just walk around.
Well, that's when you use duct tape.
Why on earth would you use duct tape just to like charge your car? Like,
Well, duct tape to keep the plug in.
yeah, but it's like you know that they're like, I mean, if somebody wants to be a real like mean person, they'll just like take the duct tape off, smack the plug out, and just keep walking. Even though I have no idea why people would want to do that.
You know, I just had a thought. At that point, wouldn't there already be an alert on your phone that says the vehicle's been unplugged in the middle of charging?
That there's a special app called the Charger Car app. You type it in and it's like, okay, you just walk around in the store. Your car's battery is at 49%. Oh no, it's been unplugged. How
Gonna
has
run
it?
out. Better put milk in your car before you pay for it.
And it, like, do those things even cost like any money to charge your car? It's like,
Well, of course they do. This is
what do you
America, right?
you
We
put it?
monetize everything.
What does it cost? A nickel? You gotta put a nickel in the machine every damn time you want to charge your car.
Again, well, Jacob, this is the digital age. Of course we're gonna use digital.
Like, so wait, what if your car, like, what if your electric car just happens to, like, imagine you, imagine you're drunk and you go in your car, you turn on the radio and you fall asleep, like, and just sit there for, like, the longest, you sleep, you pass out, you're just, like, sleep for, like, the longest period of time, but you left your car radio on, so you have something to sleep to, but then you wake up and your car is dead. How are you going to get it? So, let's say the nearest charger is 30 miles away. How are you going to push your car? Like, you can't push your car 30 damn miles just to get it charged.
Well, Jacob, this is the digital age, and then
Why
the motors would probably be unlocked at that point, and it might even be easier to push rather than a mechanical system.
don't we just have it so it's like you just have a car, but they don't have the wheels or the brakes, and the cars are just made entirely out of like foam. It's like you wouldn't have to worry about wrecks, like any accidents, and it's like you could crash into people all you wanted, and it's like there'd be no damage.
Jacob, those are called bumper cars.
No, those aren't bumper cars. I said foam, not like industrialized rubber, like whatever the hell's on bumper cars. Like,
It's would you, Jacob? What if? What is your opposition to electric cars?
I don't have an opposition to just electric cars. I have an opposition to cars in general.
Oh, yeah, sorry, my bad. You hate cars.
It's
May I?
it's not the fact that I absolutely like despise cars and like hold protests at like car factories saying stop making cars, stop making cars. And
Yeah.
it's
Well,
like I don't do that. I just look at cars and just go, getting into a car is much more dangerous than like walking.
Well, you're not wrong.
I'm
May
I'm
I
not
may I,
I'm not wrong to a point.
may I suggest the possibility of personal aerial vehicles?
What? What?
You know, like drones that are only for one person, they carry you.
So you saying get a jetpack, put it on, and just jump to the nearest location?
Well, they're already starting to use them in the Navy.
It's like it's like no, jetpacks are the things. It's like they're only in cartoons, and it's like you see them in real life, and it's like these aren't impressive at all.
Well, of course they are. When you see one that's using 7 jet engines, sorry, 5, and it pulls someone up like they're using no clip, then that's pretty impressive. Because
Um,
Jacob, I don't see you flying anytime soon.
no, no. I prefer being just like I like the feeling of my feet on the ground and not have a machine move for me.
Oh,
It's
well, it's
like
probably my bias with building stuff.
I just look. It's like okay, you have a car, and it's like, but then there's multiple types of cars. You got your Lincolns, your Fords, your Mustangs, your Ferraris, and
Who
like
the hell buys a Lincoln nowadays?
I don't know. I just I don't. I have literally no idea.
That's like buying a Humvee.
But it's like you got all these brands of cars, and it's like one's just slightly different than the last.
I
It's
agree
like
with you on that.
you
The
got one car that's probably just painted red, has has the ability to go like probably like a long time, but then they come out with another car. It's a different shade of red, and it goes slightly further than the last car. But suddenly, people want to buy that one. It's like our cell phones. It's like 13 billion brands, but only one difference.
Uh, you are right. In the automotive industry, there is very, very little, um, well, aside from electric cars, which are, I think, are a whole different breed, um, there is very little innovation sometimes. When
I
you
say
see
it's a
Europe,
lack of creativity.
no, because you got to think to modify a design that's been tried and true for so long, and now that we're finally jumping over to something, that's the big break for engineers to finally, you know, make something creative like you want. You know, flying cars, which
I
is
just
basically just helicopters.
why on earth it's like okay, it's like gonna make a flying car. It's like okay, you're gonna make a flying car, but then you're just gonna what benefit is that going to provide? Like
Cooler road trips, which segues
cooler.
perfectly into our next topic, road trips. What are your, what are your, I'm sorry, I'm not good at this. What are your,
What? Are you... okay. Let me take over for this. And
yeah,
what is your opinion on
I need a
road
breather.
trips? I
Um,
I hate to see
okay.
you just like fumble over your words and just like crumble inside.
Well, that's why I went first, and then I did it okay once, I can't do it again. Anyway, uh, road trips. They they used to be pretty cool, but now you just have Google Earth. You just look it up.
it's
It's really not that hard.
it's funny because it's like okay, if like if you're going on a road trip, but you're going to another place in the state or country or whatever the hell you're in. Like, I don't know, but it's like if you're going to another place in the same country that you live in, like since like let's say like you live in Bingham. Let's just say like okay, everyone get in the
Hold on,
car.
hold on. Everybody knows I don't live in Bingham. That's a poor people place. I live in New York. Slew's on fire again.
Okay, so wherever you live, let's just make up a damn place. Like let's say you live in Bananasburg. I don't know. And
All right, Pittsburgh.
okay,
Lay it on.
Bananasburg. You live in Bananasburg, nice town and shit. But then it's like, okay, everyone get in the car. We're going to Appleville. And it's in the same exact state that you're in. That's not a road trip. That's just you're going someplace else.
You're just going to the same. It's the same environment. It's just a different place.
it's the
You
same
might as well.
it's the same environment except with different buildings.
You may as well be in your neighbor's backyard.
Exactly.
That'll be one hell of a road trip.
Like if you go out of country or out of state, that makes sense to call it a road trip. Going to another place in the same state or country you're in, like that's just weird.
Mm.
It's not a road trip unless you go out of state, technically, in all reality.
Yeah, I was kind of catching on to what you were saying pretty early on, because well, even with the fumbling on your words, it's it
When
really
I
isn't a change.
explain things, I fumble.
If yeah, if you're gonna go on a road trip, you might as well if you're gonna go on a road trip, you might as well go to a whole different state, like halfway across the country. Like, we both live in Maine, and that's all I'm going to disclose for now.
Exactly.
Um, I went to Colorado back in 2017 because that was cool.
That's a road trip right there.
I'm not gonna say why because that's family stuff. Um,
Like exactly. That right there is a road trip. Like if the name of the state changes, it's a road trip.
you know, I'm more partial to the scenery changing, probably because it's actually different. But that's just my take.
But it's like saying, okay, let's say everyone wants to go to the Grand Canyon. Okay, that makes sense. That is a road trip because you're going in a vehicle to travel like hundreds of miles to see a pit in the ground.
Yeah, well, not to flex, but I took a plane and
That's a plane trip.
yeah, but the when I went to Colorado, you it's kind of surreal because I at that point I've never been that far away from my home state,
Yeah.
and to think I was just about halfway across the country, like I had gone that far on the map, it kind of scared me. Like, holy crap, that's how long it takes. Oh yeah, little short story. The when we're on the way back, there's this person who was on the flight back to North Carolina,
hmm
um, from Colorado to North Carolina. There was this lady who had a screaming baby, and well,
Oh God, you
that
got the screaming baby plane trip.
no, that's not even the that's not even the worst of it. That's par for the course. That's par for the course, actually. What happened was there was this lady that thought she was going to Portland, Oregon, when she
Mhm.
was going when she was going to a flight to Portland, Maine. That is the full length of the country away.
uh, it it's like
Delayed the flight by 7 hours. I was up that whole time. I thought I was gonna go out and do some stuff after we got back, but no. I came back home, I put my crap down in my room, I laid on my bed, and I immediately went to sleep. I didn't even bother changing. I was
it's
so tired.
I don't even imagine like in what possibility you could even sleep on a plane trip. Like
Well, how could you mistake Portland, Oregon for Portland, Maine?
it's just like opposite ends of the country.
It is. It really is.
It's like
But that
okay, one's I mean there's kind of some logic behind that confusion. I mean, both places are near the water, like near the oceans, so I guess that's logical. Everything else just doesn't make sense. It's it's like
why?
it's like you said. I'm going to Portland, but but I don't know what state. Just take me to Portland.
Just take me to Portland. How do you communicate that? Take me to Portland. Oh, yeah, the Portland that this flight is going to is going to be Maine once you go from North Carolina to Maine. Um, on her phone, not listening. Yeah, that sounds good. Turns out you have to hold up a flight for 5 to 7 hours because you didn't realize that they
Wait,
said
that
Maine.
one singular lady held up the flight for that long?
Yeah, because it was not only her, but also a thunderstorm before takeoff.
Okay, the thunderstorm makes sense, but it's just one woman. It's like seriously, you can stay on
Half
your
of it.
like stay on the damn plane, and it's like
No, you can't stay on the damn plane, Jacob. Because then you're going halfway across the country and then back. And then you'd have to pay for that. And then you'd walk home. Just, just walk home. Goodbye. See you later. Walking 5 states over is quite a journey. That's what you do on the Appalachian Trail. Uh,
That's when you don't need it.
anyway, you want to move on to our next, or have you given your
I think
your insight
hmm.
on computers?
My wise wizard ability says, let's move on.
All right. Number three, language. What is your view on different languages?
um, I mean, for someone who's taking another language in school, I mean, sometimes it's nice to learn, like, have like a couple languages under your belt, but it's like sometimes just looking at stuff is just so weird sometimes.
Hmm. Me, I know a little bit of French. That's what I took this year. Uh, I taught myself Russian, which I'm okay at, and of course fluent English.
Yeah,
And that's it for me.
it's like, well, I know um English, of course, German, well, some of it at least, and very little bit of Polish.
Hmm.
That
And I would know why, but you guys would not.
and it's like and I looking at different languages and like then seeing English, it's like we English has so many different words for things, and
Yeah.
it's like you got it's stupid that you got two meanings for the word bat. Same spelling, same letters, but different meanings. You got
Well,
your baseball bat, then you got the bat, the animal, and it's like
I can see it. I can tolerate it when it's spelling and meaning change. But when it's only a meaning change and it's the exact same, there, you might as well just create a whole nother word.
It's like, okay,
It's
they just became too lazy with the English language at that point. It's like, okay, we have one word, but we're gonna give it two separate meanings.
well, no, they didn't decide that. The thing is, we started integrating other languages into English,
Yeah.
and stuff happened to be the exact same spelling. Or they didn't bother to change the spelling, so here we are. We have bat as in the animal and bat as in what I'm about to hit your forehead with.
It's languages are just like, I think it's nice to have different languages. Like if you have like different cultures and everything, if you come from a different country and have another language, that's cool. It's nice, like being able to see that type of stuff and not just being clustered in English. But
Mm.
it's like then it's like once you start learning another language for a while, then you look at English and it's like, where the
Ew.
hell did we go wrong?
Ew. What is this? What
Exactly.
is this?
Exactly.
Why? Why in the hell would anybody come up? How? How did this get created?
Sometimes it's like I look at words and it's like this this doesn't make sense. I mean, in English we have multiple theirs. Like
We
and
have
like
we have three different theirs, and they're all spoken the same.
exactly. You there's no like speaking change when you're saying each there, which makes no sense.
And it's hard for us to say they are. But even then, you still have two of them that are said the exact same.
It's like, okay, we are too lazy to just say they are, so let's just say there and just be done with it.
Mm. You know, with Russian, I've noticed that there is, well, of course, there's the modifiers. Like instead of apple, like in English, there's apple and apples,
Yeah.
but in Russian it would be яблоко or яблоки. Um, but they only have one word for apple. Of course, we only have one word for apple, but
we have one singular word for apple, and it's like if we
we,
want to say that there's more apples, we just put an S at the end of it.
yeah, they just put an I at or an E sound at the end of it, in Russian. But in English, of course, let's bring up the example with bat. So there's multiple bats. It,
Yes,
I'm not
exactly.
100% sure, but I'm fairly certain that it they're two very different things in Russian.
And it's cool seeing it's like another language. It's like you got one word in English that just means a singular, like you got one word in English that has two meanings, but in another language you got two special meanings for one word. One word equals one meaning.
Mm.
Sometimes.
All right. You want to move on to the next one?
Sure.
Okay. Take on war. What is your take on war?
um I have mixed feelings about war, to be honest.
Mm.
Like, I mean, you war is just grown ass men who have been like who have exercised basically all their lives just building up everything in their bodies just so they can get killed.
Eh, I see your point. Um, Mainly it's a method of quelling disputes.
A
Then
method of
again,
quelling disputes. So it's
yes.
like, okay, so how
But
do you
if it's a
even
problem
decide who
solved
wins a
by
war?
way to the death.
It's like, okay, so I'm just gonna pick two. I'm just gonna pick. Let's just say I don't know. Florida and California. Let's just say they went to war. Like they just this.
War of the two evils, huh?
It's like okay, we're just gonna fight and that's it. Then
You know, it would be more like all the other 49 states versus Florida. We're just trying to saw that one off. Have it go away.
it's funny because it's like okay, back to like my example, Florida versus California. Let's just say they go to war.
Uh-huh.
However many, it's like okay, let's just say they fight, everything is over, but they take the effort of tallying up the bodies. Then it's like okay, and it's like imagine more people died from on California's side than they did on Florida's side. It's like, does that mean California would win that war? Or
Well, it
Florida?
depends. You gotta have a reason for the war. Like, World War One. What's his name? I may get this completely wrong. Franz Ferdinand was killed, assassinated.
Yeah.
Therefore, well, King of Austria or whatever his name is of Austria, whatever his title is of Austria,
He
it's
might
killed.
he has to have a title, but let's just call him dude.
Yeah, so dude Franz Ferdinand. Wow, I hate that. Is he's killed. So Germany goes to war with one state. Uh state, I mean country.
Yeah.
It's and it snowballs into this big thing where the entire world's involved except Switzerland because Switzerland's always neutral. Holy crap. And so yeah, that happens, and then everybody puts Germany in its place except maybe Japan or something. And then I might be thinking of World War II, but
Yeah,
yeah.
Japan was involved during World War II. I don't
Oh yeah, we dropped the sun on them twice. Anyway, the
go on.
the so yeah, everybody puts Germany in place after World War One. They've been using mustard gas and all this crap. You need gas masks. Everybody hates it.
Mhm.
Everybody does. It's taking a toll on the financial burden of war is taking a toll on every country
Mhm.
with it because we have to supply food, munitions, everything. And then after it's all said and done, Germany has to pay for all of it after
Which
they lost war
it's
reparations.
that I laugh to be honest every time it's like like listening to say it's like Germany had to pay for everything during World War One, and it's like okay, hold on, you got all of these countries. Okay, you have all of the countries in Europe that participated in World War One, but then only one country gets the blame, and they have to pay.
Well, I agree with that just because they're the ones who instigated the whole thing. But
Yeah, I mean
to
I
multiple
understand like
countries,
that part of it.
to like quadrillions of dollars in debt now. And you know when they paid that off?
When
A few years ago.
that
Handful of years ago.
that's that's just ridiculous.
And that's just for World War One. Don't get me started on World War Two.
It
I'm not kidding. I
it's like
remember
you
scenes.
you got wars, and it's like I said, you're just training men to be the fittest of the fit. I mean, most of them who go out into the war and who fight and everything, but then it's like you're basically saying you're basically you are signing this because you want to die.
Well, most people don't really actually want to throw their lives down. Like, I'm not saying that everybody doesn't. I'm
I mean,
just
everyone
saying,
has their reasons for joining.
yeah, some people do. But you got to think, some people are drafted in, and there's absolutely no
No,
way
yeah,
for them to get
which
out.
is scary. To be honest, like scary. Like imagine how those people must feel. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
gotta go to war now.
Yeah, you went to Vietnam, you got 3 Purple Hearts. Why didn't you get 4? Wow.
It's funny
Very
because
respect.
they train. It's like they train these people to be the fittest of the fit, but
Well,
then
thing is, you didn't.
then they give them guns.
Yeah.
It's like, what? You've been trained to be fit in every possible way. You've been trained to be in the desert, in the cold, like every scenario possible. I mean, I might just be talking about Navy SEALs here, but it's like it's
Yeah,
you
you probably are.
in the back of my mind. Navy SEALs, Navy SEALs.
Amazing.
It's like then you give these grown men who have like worked, so then you give them a gun and
Hmm.
say go fight. It's like
Well, they train with the gun first, so they make sure they're actually competent before they send out people to die. You don't want a dumb person dying.
I think it's stupid that it's like they give them a gun.
Well, y- okay, this is something I've been meaning to say in this segment, for our take on war.
Yeah,
Um, I have a question for both of us.
yeah.
What what do you think is the good thing that comes out of war?
Um, the good thing that comes out of war. What is the good thing? Like it's I mean it's like, huh? I never thought of it that way before.
I'll tell you my view.
What?
It's technology. Think of it, the U-2 spy plane, the SR-71 Blackbird, all that innovation
Hmm.
would have never been achieved without war. Um,
That's true. That's true.
and the space programs like the space race and the Cold War, those
Big
two
events in
opened the
history.
door. Yeah, huge events. The space race
You got
probably
you
would
got a
not
good
have
point
been
there.
spurred on without the Cold War.
You definitely got a good point there.
It was mostly an overreaction on the Soviets' part. They thought that the us Americans were going to use the our Saturn V space shuttle to shoot them with lasers from space. At that time,
Lasers from
everybody was a
space.
futurist. Well, you got to think, people were futurists back then.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's a term for that, and it's like,
Finally, we're finally getting to that point.
yeah,
Um, but I do know they were testing lasers. I've seen some people say they tested high-powered lasers back in the 70s in the Air Force, which I find kind of cool. And finally, Martin Lockheed Martin, is putting out a plane that is a huge bomber escorted by 2 uh, fighter jets that all three use extremely high-powered lasers. My only problem with this kind of technology,
yeah,
lasers get damaged pretty easy. I mean,
yeah.
unless you have some kind of reinforced bulletproof glass that can
Hmm.
take a CIWS bullet or maybe 30 of them to the lens.
Huh.
Um, keep in mind, it's not lasers for burning through stuff because that you got to think you got to hold a laser on something to burn it.
Yeah.
Um, they're more for inter uh jamming up missiles and stuff
Hmm.
and torpedoes or not torpedoes, missiles.
Missiles aren't torpedoes just missiles? Like,
Torpedoes are a lot different. They're really cool. I've seen videos on how they work. Oh, they're cool. They're probably some of the coolest things. They sit in this chamber and um like the floor opens up so they can take them from the holding compartment into the torpedo tube. They shut it, they seal it.
yeah,
Um, repressor, repressurization works go around, and then the hatch finally opens, and then it shoves forward because water rushes in. It's so cool. Anyway, yeah, that's my take on war. The only thing the good come. out of it
Like
is technology.
you do got a really good point there. It is a really good point, but it's like, well, I have to say something bad, like bad that has come out of war, because I can't really think of anything good besides, well, maybe some like agreements in like relationships and stuff like that. But it's like the things that come out of war, like bad stuff, is like hatred in all reality. Like
Yeah,
it's like you
hatred
got all
between
that
nations.
stuff,
Like,
but then it's like you're talking about technology. And now that I'm thinking about it, technology is kind of actually ruining humanity in some aspects.
I see an opening. Like with my turret, I am using new technology like artificial intelligence to shoot people. Anyway, let's not talk about that. It's shoot people with foam rounds,
Yeah,
foam rival rounds. Anyway, yes, those are our reviews on war.
yeah.
Something to a little less violent. Heat waves. Um,
Oh yeah, we're in the middle of a damn heat wave right now.
yeah, here in Maine.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's. I'm gonna say this just outright. Right where I live, okay. It's nice. It's nice inside of my house, but then I go out, and it feels um like just we were put in Satan's chili pot.
some people actually think it's pretty habitable up here, but uh,
I mean, Maine is a very nice state. It is.
in the spring and fall. In
Yes.
summer, winter, it gets so cold and so well. You will never see it shown as that cold or hot. I mean, it might somewhere, but from what I've
Maine is known for like the heat. I no, not the heat, not the damn heat, the winter.
well, yeah, the winter we get quite a bit of snow.
Yeah,
Not like Alaska amounts where we have to use snowmobiles to get everywhere, but
but fairly decent
we
amount.
yeah, we get a decent amount. Like I've been snowed in a couple times.
Yeah.
That of course was due to lake effect when I used to live near a lake.
Mhm.
Uh, and yeah, so the snow it's kind of well known, but the heat, okay.
Oh,
Um,
heat.
it's 95 degrees today.
Yeah.
A fan is on me, and the humidity is
Oh,
absolutely
the
horrible.
humidity just sucks. The humidity makes everything worse.
Global warming. Yeah, when we're getting more snow and more heat. What do you say then?
It's like, I mean, I love the cold, to be honest. I mean, it's the cold. It's like you can just sit there and it's like, oh, it's like I'm cold and it's cold in
The
here.
thing is,
Just throw on a sweatshirt.
you can comfortably die in the cold. Okay, this is turning a little weird, but you can comfortably
But
die in the cold.
you can actually.
But in the heat, you get heat stroke. Your stomach starts
There's
hurting.
there's so many
It's
bad things
oh,
that can come from heat, and it's like the cold. You just feel just a little.
no.
You just feel cold. That's it. It's like there's no further explanation.
Well, you get numb, and then your brain shuts
Sometimes,
off,
like
and then
I'm.
your heart stops. It's done. But in the heat, your body makes heat too. It not
Yeah,
none of
it
it's good.
sucks the fact that your body makes additional heat, which adds up to the heat that's pumping into you from the outside, and it's like you're just basically becoming an oven for like it's like want organ flambe.
Organ pump.
uh,
S- le- Put the flamethrower, put the flammenwerfer on it for a good 3 seconds. Perfectly seared to a nice burnt crisp.
it's it's like you got the cold and it's like okay, I'm just cold. I'll just put on a sweatshirt. But when it's hot, like it is right now, you just
Yeah.
want to take off every bit of like everything off your body. Like
I
like you're.
can't do that here.
I mean, it's like seriously, you just want to do anything to just feel a little cold.
Yeah, like this fan I have with me right here. I'm probably gonna be hold for the duration of this podcast. I will probably be holding it right next to my face.
uh, Heat is scary. The heat is just like it's scarier than the cold.
I remember biking up the hill that goes to my school,
Yeah,
and oh, I got some sort of heat stroke. I didn't tell anybody.
it's probably
It
just
just
like
felt
a did it like
it felt exactly like the symptoms of heat stroke though. We're biking up last year just when COVID was around, but I wanted to go outside, so I biked up to my school and back with some people and of course not you, Jacob, because we go to different schools because I
yeah.
had to move. A little bit of backstory.
Little tiny bits of backstory.
Yeah, for the lore masters out there, it's yeah. The, the main reason we started this whole YouTube channel is just another way for us to connect because I moved away and then technology's here so we can do this and
Exactly.
here we are.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the heat wave stuff.
Yeah,
Heat
exactly.
It's horrible. Cold can be annoying, but okay.
Yeah, cold can be tolerable to a
Here's another thing. If you
yeah,
have to do any kind of labor, like take care of a pool, like I do, or a
yeah.
shovel snow
Oh, I
in your
love
back,
shoveling snow.
shoveling snow is awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize how fun shoveling snow is. The thing is, it keeps your body warm in a
Yes,
cold
you're
environment.
moving. Yes,
You know
you're
what? You know what? Picking out a bunch of stuff from the trees that falls in your pool when
90-degree day.
when it keeps on falling while you're trying to take it out, you get mad, produces heat, and then it's extremely hot around you. Right now, I'm sweating.
I mean, I would
It,
say
labor in the heat is horrible.
yes because you just
Absolutely
feel like you're
horrible.
gonna die.
Well,
Uh,
you probably are. That's the thing.
You're cooking yourself. That's basically it.
Oh,
You're
that would be a really good skit for us to do, where it's like, um, we're standing outside and we're like, you're the chef and I'm the sous chef, so you just command me and I do everything. And it's like, stand outside for a half an hour while mowing the lawn. Add seasoning and then just
I mean,
throw in
it's.
seasoning.
I mean, like mowing the lawn ain't that bad. In all reality, I mean, some depending on the day. I mean,
Depending on how hot it is.
not right now. Definitely
When
not
there
in this damn wave.
yeah, my arms are covered in mosquito bites from mowing and stuff, mowing, cleaning a pool.
And
Oh,
the thing, it sucks because here it's like it's been the fact that we had a couple days when it was like just absolutely like hot, like
yeah.
basic the devil just pissed all over, like, and
Hold
then
on. Wait, yeah, finish your
okay,
thought.
okay, and then it's like then we had the couple of days when it was very nice. It was very cool. It was breezy. It was like nice and everything. But then we're back to the heat, like
Mhm.
heat from hell.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because it went from it was normal like spring, then
Yeah.
searing heat,
Yes. Exactly.
horrible. Where you don't like the feeling of your skin on your body. You want to take it off. And then
Exactly.
and and then it's nice fall weather, like
Yes.
getting cold fall weather
Yes.
to the point where you have to wear a jacket. The next few weeks, well, the next week or week and a half, searing heat. Horrible. Humid. I hate it.
I miss wearing a sweatshirt. I miss winter.
I hate hoodies and sweatshirts so bad. I'm just gonna say it.
We're different in that sense.
uh, anyway, that thing I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Basically, um, if Verizon Master would open up. So I'm running on a PC. It is
Yeah.
only running Discord for this call.
Hmm.
It is probably 95 degrees in here. My PC at idle runs at about 35 degrees Celsius, which is average. It should be around 25 to 30, but I need to upgrade my CPU anyway because of the chip shortage. I have not been able to, and the turret.
Yeah.
Also, if it would please open
Please
technical.
open. Machine open.
Okay, I clicked OK.
Hmm.
All right, I guess I'll just leave that. Anyway, my thought is normal like spring comfortable weather.
Hmm.
It's around 35 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Well, 30 to 35, somewhere in between there. In the summer, at idle, I kid you not, it runs around 50 degrees Celsius, which is way more than it should be.
It's weird how
Absolute.
just temperature in general works.
Don't even get me started under load. It goes up to 80 degrees Celsius
Wow.
on the CPU. To give you a kind of idea of how that is in freedom units, my 3D printer temperature on the bed, I put it around 80 degrees Celsius um, for printing PETG.
Hmm.
And when you touch the bed when it's at 80 degrees, you can't keep your finger on it for more than a second and a half. That's how hot the CPU is under load in the winter when you're running a bunch of programs. It's in the winter, in the summer, it's horrible. The
I
heat.
bet it is. I once grabbed a light bulb with my hand once. That was hot.
Oh yeah. We need to replace the light bulbs in my room. It's incredibly dim if you ever seen any of my videos. Can't
That
wait to do some outdoor stuff. If my camera doesn't overheat.
uh
That also thing.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so should
that
we move
concludes our
on?
thoughts. Yes.
Okay,
Um,
so we got
ooh,
explosives now.
yeah, we number number
6.
number 6, explosives. Um,
Explosives.
so
It goes
explosives.
boom.
Why? This was a personal choice for me. I wanted to
Yes.
talk about explosive. Jacob Jacobin Club. What do you think about explosives?
Um I think they are very reliable.
I wouldn't say that.
I mean sometimes. I mean like in my choice of like weapons, I mean it's going to get very like dark here. But um
Yeah, it is.
like
Children, listen away.
let children cover your ears if you haven't already been
Listen
doing
away.
that for this entire video.
Yes, to start off this segment, I'd like to read an excerpt from a book, a very heavy, very thick book, about 2.5 inches thick, called Dangerous Properties of Industrial Materials, 4th edition. And my father gave it to me to put under my PC when it got too hot in the summer. I,
a
it's not a
book
joke.
about a book about about dangerous properties. Okay, let's just stick that under the soup under the flaming hot PC.
Well, it's not like it's on fire. It's just to keep the
No,
dust
it,
out
it,
of
it
things.
is on fire. It's on fire. It is on
Hold on, let
fire.
me check.
It is
I
on
can't
fire.
tell if that's the RGB RAM stick or the fire, but it's normal.
Ram
Um,
stick.
let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna flip to a random page, and it'll probably be explosive. Oh, here's a good one. The M section.
Mmm.
Magnesium chromate. Let's see. Highly toxic, a recognized carcinogen, see chromium compounds and magnesium compounds.
Yay.
Can react with reducing materials.
It's chemicals. Yeah, it's like I like them. Only to the fact when they become dangerous. it's nice learning about that type of stuff.
Well, the thing is, I don't think the school teaches us, well, unless you go in chem class, but that's a little far off for our taste. Oh yeah, here's a little baggie I have right here, full of, and I kid you not, magnesium. It's a sandwich bag full of magnesium. It's right here.
I admit I have it.
Yeah, it's right here. It's very fine powder. Some people have done this before. It's taking apart you sparklers. Yeah, I took apart sparklers for their magnesium, and I have a little baggie full of it now.
Very
I'm gonna
nice.
use it in something someday.
It it's
I mean,
it's cool. Like
explosions, explosions.
yes.
While I take my vitamins.
Hmm.
Your view on
I
the
mean
use of explosions
explosions.
outside hurting
You
people.
got explosions. It's an explosion is something different because there's it depends on what type of explosion it is.
Well, it's
Like
combustion.
I mean, like it's not the very first thing I would think of when it's like, okay, I'm gonna like wild scenario here. Let's just say I'm gonna let's just say I'm gonna rob a bank. I'm not saying I'm going to, but let's just say I am. And I had to look
Good
through
job covering your bases.
let's let's just say I'm looking through my bad guy inventory to see
Uh-huh.
what type of stuff I'm gonna rob this bank with.
Hmm.
So I flip through. I'm guns is not a thing for me. Explosives would be right between guns and knives, in my opinion, because
Mm.
it, it takes a lot of work to make an explosive, and also you don't know if it's gonna go off properly.
Oh, if you do it right, okay. Let me cover my bases.
Yes, go
Uh,
ahead.
I, I'm, I've set off explosives before in the form of fireworks, and that's about it.
Hmm.
Controlled explosions, um, can be some of the best utilities for humans, like mining. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, we don't do much mining now.
I mean,
I
it.
shouldn't say that. I really shouldn't. No, we still do mining.
Yeah,
I'm thinking like the old and explosive mining.
yeah. I mean, explosions for that makes sense because you can get a lot of ground like take.
Cleared.
Yeah, you can get a lot of ground cleared very fast with with a well placed explosive.
Hmm. Another thing, like explosives. I'm trying to think of things that aren't hurting people. Explosives for clearing away debris. Um,
But wouldn't debris be caused by an explosive?
Jacob, that's not the point.
You're just making more debris. If it's like, oh, we're gonna be cleaning
Well,
up debris
if it's
with
in the way.
explosives, you're making more debris.
All right, far off space things. Far off space theory. We
Mm-hmm.
may be using explosives to clear away incoming large masses of rock when we go into space travel
Mm-hmm.
as a multiplanetary species, like of course Elon Musk, SpaceX, and the like. With their Starship, the top half is called Starship,
Mm-hmm.
and the bomb half is called Super Heavy, and the entire thing is called Starship because that makes sense. And hold up passengers and has the turnaround time of you know a flight here on Earth for some reason. The they're gonna have a bunch of different versions of that for different stuff, and I'm thinking, why not clear paths using explosives uh, to make kind of space roads
That makes
for
sense.
starships? That would be pretty cool.
That does make sense. Explosives are good when you know how to use them.
Yeah.
If you know how to use them properly, you're basically golden.
All right. I think we should move on.
Yeah.
All right, so this next one, it was a personal choice for Jacob.
Yes, it was. Farmers.
We
We.
are farmers. We don't
Okay.
want to get copyright striked.
No. Okay.
All right,
Um. So.
farms. How do we start this one?
I absolutely respect farmers in every way possible.
Mm, If okay, how so? Before I move to my
I mean,
view.
see, think about it. They live to, and they work hard to grow, like, crops. They raise, cattle, and, they are impressive with what they do. Like, and
Well,
they got very cool tools, like tractors and scythes and shit.
oh my God, Jacob,
What?
you know, late 1800s, Russia is probably the last time anybody used a scythe.
I don't care. It's still a cool item.
All right, to my view, farmers, absolutely cool people.
Yes,
You
they are exactly.
most people never realize how much of a burden it is to consult, have them consult so many different people on different aspects, like the people who actually do the farming, the engineering of the grain silos. Because if you've ever seen a how they build silos, it's so cool. They create the first bottom ring. Well, no, they create the roof,
Yeah.
then they use hydraulics to jack it up, then they build the next layer beneath it, and do that over and over until they finally construct the bottom, where they put the auger, and then that spins, and you can input and output stuff.
Stuff.
Yeah,
It.
and
Yeah.
they have to find a way to pay for all of that, and you can essentially start from just doing it all yourself, all the way up to a giant tycoon. It's really, really cool.
It is the stuff that goes into farming is just really it's fascinating to me. Like, because the fact that you gotta, know when, the plants are ready, to cut down. You gotta know when to grow them. You gotta know, how, what time of season to grow that. It's pretty complicated, and I respect farmers.
I respect farmers too.
So hey, a couple months ago you said you didn't.
I was kidding. I've now been educated in the ways of farmers and their
I've
business.
now been educated in the ways of the farm. I've been
Yeah,
educated in
we're
the ways
Maine.
of the farm.
We're Mainers, so we have to say famaz.
Farmers.
Famas.
Get in the
Oh yeah,
car. We're going to the farm.
yeah. To anyone who thinks that most Mainers have the Maine accent, it's really
No.
only a couple people. I've met maybe 10 people who have the accent. Uh, one of them's my grandfather.
Mm-hmm. It's like accents are just located to one singular location, but it's like not everyone has them. I mean,
I understand it's a stereotype,
yeah,
but some people, like, if they hear anybody, like, they hear, oh, you're from Maine, say Bahaba. And I'm just like,
Bahaba.
why are you talking to me in that strange way? You think I'm from New York? If you
I,
really think about it, the stereotypical Mainer accent is very close to a New Yorker accent.
it's like, I mean,
Can't pronounce ours.
no, they don't even say ours. It's just there.
R
It's
equals H.
But then it's like people have said it's like, oh, it's like you got a strange accent, and it's like, well,
What?
it's like, well, it's like not saying it's like we don't have the main accent at all. I mean, we do, but it's the
Oh,
fact that
yeah.
we don't have like the full thick full thick fluent main accent.
Like, never grew up saying any kind of R's ever. It's mainly the R's that get people.
Yeah.
Like, if I start saying something and then I kind of don't think that I'm speaking, I'll start speaking, and then you'll hear me start shortening words until it's just, yeah, I heard what it was down there. Mostly there is there.
It's like some
T
it's like you get it,
what?
so it's like you get the ability, like yeah.
Achievement get, Mana.
I mean, the
This ties back
accent
to,
does slip through.
yeah, it does sometimes.
Yeah. So, um,
Famous. Just famous.
the famous
Half about how not all Mainers have the accent.
like yeah, not all Mainers have the thick accent like us.
Yeah, if you haven't,
if you
if you haven't
if you've
been
ever
able,
listened to like a Maine person with like a thick accent, like you'll you'll definitely see a difference. I mean, kind
so
of.
both presented our views on
Famous.
farmers, farmers.
Famous.
Yeah, see that.
Okay, the last topic of today's video.
Space travel.
Yeah, space travel. What's your
Okay,
take on it? I'll let you speak first.
I think this is okay. This is kind of a no-brainer, but this is the next big leap for humanity in the way that combustion engines were, which are now going into electrics. No, I shouldn't say electrics. That's the really old way of saying. I'm talking 1800s wave. It's electronics now. Electrics.
It's like, don't want to speak in the 1800s way? Say electronics.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway, yes. Now that everything's advancing so fast,
Yeah.
I think space travel. Like, I've seen a lot about Elon Musk's plan to colonize Mars, and uh, the idea he has for using the CO2, because there's an abundance of CO2 on Mars,
Mm-hmm.
to refuel the starships, because they use this fuel called methalox.
Yeah.
It's a it's a combination of two things, which my brain fails to remember at this moment, but it's you basically you can refuel on Mars from the atmosphere of Mars.
Huh.
So
That's actually pretty cool.
they're gonna use 3D printed machines. The first colonization isn't actually gonna be done by humans. It's gonna
It's gonna
be
be done by machines.
completely remote operated.
Huh.
That's probably one of the most badass things humans are ever gonna do. Of course, the moon landing, which, if you really think about it, how the heck did we get a man on the moon so early?
We put a man on the moon, and it's like that was for like not to say it's like that was a bad thing. I mean that was like a huge event in human history. But I mean, you're gonna say, oh, we did the moon landing. It's like yes, it's an event, but we're at a point where we can go so much further than just the moon.
Well, we're preparing to. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Um, Mostly because of politics, which let's agree not to get into politics
yeah,
because I've been heated lately.
yeah,
But yes, the space travel with space travel, I feel, has been very limited by politics, at least in some places. I know here in the U.S. it's been going a little better.
yeah.
Companies like um, Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk's SpaceX definitely making big leaps with reusable rockets. And I just saw Jeff Bezos is going to he's putting himself in space after he just quit from Amazon. Nice.
I'm putting my.
No.
I quit from Amazon. I quit from Amazon, but now I'm going to space.
Yeah. I hope his Blue Origin does good, so there's actually competition, because SpaceX has just been dominating. Because right now, Blue Origin has
Hmm.
nothing to show for much. I
Yeah,
mean, they have been testing, but they haven't been on such a streak as SpaceX, because SpaceX got their reusable rocket stuff,
yeah.
and then once they had that down with the Falcon 9, I remember just a couple weeks ago, Starship had a test flight,
And it blew
and I
up.
watched it long. Nope, they landed it.
They did.
Yep,
How?
top half of Starship, named Starship, flew and landed.
Huh?
They're gonna be building this thing to catch the bottom. Well, there's a top half that houses the which is like the Saturn V
Yeah.
rocket, kind of like well, the space shuttle.
Hmm.
Uh, except, well, a little bit of conjecture. The original test for the kind of space tourism rocket thing, the
Yeah.
Starship, looks like you just strapped a rocket booster to the bottom of a grain silo. I'm not kidding. It looks like a tin can.
Well, like, does it work? Is that the thing?
Well, yeah, they built their way up over the past couple of years. Well, they've been doing pretty well since 2017 with the Falcon 9's
Yeah.
re-entry into orbit and stuff. Re-entry into orbit, exit from orbit and going down into re-entry,
Yeah.
landing itself instead of the space shuttle, which had to fly like a plane, which it didn't do very well
Hmm.
because it's essentially a flying brick.
Flying brick.
Its its gliding slope was incredibly uh, close to 45 degrees,
Hmm.
and when the astronauts were training, they
Yeah.
used a certain plane with its landing gear down and engines backward to simulate the drag in how unaerodynamic the space shuttle is. Isn't that amazing?
I think it's we. I think it's like I have two opinions on space travel and everything you just said in general.
Hmm.
Like, do you have more to say, or is
Oh, I could keep going all night, but of course I have to let you have a turn.
yes, let me, the little boy who gets lost on the playground, have a turn. Okay. Well, my first opinion is humans like are capable of so much.
We were never meant to, by the way. We were never meant to do any of this.
I know, but here we are. Here we
Here,
are, like in the year 2021, and we are planning, and like people are planning to go and colonize Mars, which, in my honest opinion, I don't think that's even technolog like possible. And I don't think that's even possible at all.
I've seen their plans. It's totally doable.
But
Once you get into the details of it, oh my god, it's so weird.
but think about it. They say it's like, okay, we're gonna take the atmosphere on Mars and we're gonna convert it into fuel to power our rock to power our space to power our space ships or shuttles. I don't give a shit.
It's fuel for the booster, so it can go
Well,
bad.
the booster, but if you're taking the CO2 and you're taking that from the atmosphere, you're pulling it down, and you're shoving it in your rockets, and it's like, ain't there gonna be a point where it's like you're gonna end up draining everything from the atmosphere just so you can power your stupid rockets?
Well, the thing is, you're not draining it from the atmosphere because there's so damn much of it.
Yes,
There is so much of
but should wouldn't there be a point where it's too much?
possibly at that point. By the time we run out of CO2 on Mars, if we ever do, we'll probably already found like CO2 is incredibly abundant on other planets, like
So but so
other
we
planets.
so so humans think that since we have, I mean, not to criticize the human race, but I'm absolutely going to.
To criticize the only race that can comprehend
it
criticism.
it's like,
Criticism.
okay, you're gonna take your little monkey rockets and go out in
Monkey
you're
rockets.
gonna, you're gonna take your monkey rockets and go out to space, not thinking that there's anything else living in space out there.
Oh, of course there is.
Like, you don't, it's like people think, it's like some people think, okay, there's nothing else out there, we're the only living things in the universe. But
Thing is, yeah, go on.
it's like,
Keep
okay,
talking.
there's no way we're not the only living things in the universe. There's probably things out there in space that are way more technologically advanced, way smarter, way more powerful than the human race could even imagine.
It just depends on when we started.
It's like,
Whoever started first is going to be the first to be the most advanced.
how
Is
it's
going to
like,
be.
how do humans know that we weren't planted on this earth by a higher being? Not because, I mean, I believe in both sides of the argument. I believe that there is a heaven and a hell, and I also believe in evolution. But wouldn't there be a point where it's like, you have to think, we were put here by something else out in space, like, that just decided to research this planet and put life on it because they could, because they had to do it for fun or shit.
Well, you gotta think about it. Um, think about how every star starts.
Mm-hmm.
To our knowledge, there is one forming right now that scientists are looking at, and to my knowledge, it is confirming our suspicions. So we've been on the right track, and we basically are the descendants of little pieces of shit flying around in the water of asteroids. Crazy.
Exactly. How do humans know that we're not just some experiment never meant to happen, but we
Yeah,
did?
you gotta think. DNA, the DNA let those microorganisms multiply. Um, they land on Earth, and apparently did we evolved into humans over
Millions of
an
years.
an obscene amount of time. It's kind of rude, really. It took us this long to get
But it's like, but think about it. If there is a higher thing out there,
here.
and they discovered that their little accidental experiment actually developed into something,
That's good research for them.
like, when they just, like, I mean, there probably is something else out there. It doesn't matter if it's like the aliens that you see in like movies or something. I mean, aliens out there probably look exactly like us.
You know that I wouldn't say exactly, but they
I
did
mean,
need to be
definitely
humanoid.
not exactly. I mean, they probably have one feature about them that greatly differs them
Yeah,
from us.
yeah, they probably have the complexity of a human, just structured different to suit their how their planet
Yeah. I mean,
developed them.
I think,
Who knows? Yeah, it's completely open to speculation.
yeah,
I'm not
there's
going to
just
dismiss
so
any of
many
it either.
different things that could happen,
Yeah,
and it's
the
impossible to
the whole thing
determine.
with religion, I can't dismiss any of it either. But I also don't. you also don't have the proof to believe in. So
Exactly.
I'm
I
gonna stick in with the stuff that we can speculate on.
Yes. Okay, yes. I know there is no concrete concrete proof that yes, there is something that is out there. There is something else out there. But if people decide that they want to go start colonizing other planets, when shouldn't one thing be on their mind that if there is another form of life out there, shouldn't we be worried about pissing that off?
No, because Jacob, think about it from their perspective. You just found an it might even be the exact same for them. Did we just find intelligent life too? Did 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 we just find another version of ourselves that has been developed over the same amount of time and we just so happen to.
That's
Well,
true.
of course we're gonna go share our knowledge. That's what
That's
we want to
true.
do, so that's probably what they do.
There may be some galactic alliance and bullshit like just happen. It's like, okay, we're gonna make some like federation, and it's like Earth's gonna be one of the planets, and it's like all the other aliens out there can just join in if they want. It's like
Hmm.
we're just gonna form a space pact, and it's like, but I
Well,
had a
if you
second opinion. I had a second opinion, but I forgot it.
was it that you're not gonna dismiss religion?
I'm definitely not gonna dismiss religion at all because people can believe what they want to believe.
Yeah,
It's
there's
not if
really no
it's
reason.
yeah
You can't
because
say someone's wrong because you will not have the proof to tell them they're wrong, and
exactly.
they can't say that you're wrong because
Yes,
they don't have the concrete proof to say that they're
exactly.
right. So
Exactly.
there's no point in arguing.
Yes.
There you
It's like
go.
I mean it's like I believe both sides. I believe
Hmm.
like I said I do believe in a higher I believe in hell and I believe both heaven and hell. But I also believe that like alien theory like
Yeah, tinfoil hat.
but either way that's just my opinion.
Yeah, and
And
no
it's
one
like
is
you have
disagreeing.
your opinion, and some person in Timbuktu has their opinion. Another person in Jimmy Crack Corn has their opinion. Another person on like the North Pole has their opinion.
If you're living on the North Pole, you're probably talking about Sam, which we all know is real.
Well, is there anything else that can be said?
No, that's space travel and exploration. We'll probably find something that will change the course of humanity.
Yep.
I mean, by the time we find something, we'll probably be so big that the other whatever we find will be so big that it's it's just like the two superpowers or America and the Soviet Union.
Hmm.
They both had destructive weapons capable of wiping out all the progress. So, and we've gotten this far, so we probably don't want to do that on both sides.
Exactly. Oh, well, it's just opinion. There's just no proof about it at all.
No proof. I
Nope.
mean, it's at least good to acknowledge the fact that nobody's right, nobody's wrong.
Yeah,
Go
exactly.
about your day. Don't piss each other off.
Don't piss each other off. They might be an alien. Uh, should we end the
Well,
episode?
yeah, I think we should end it right there. That's all of our topics covered. That was a that went a lot better than I was expecting. How
Yep,
about you?
exactly. Well, this was the first episode of the chatting hour. I hope you enjoyed all of our special topics and hope to give some of your own. We'll be back again next week with another chatting hour and new topics to talk about. So, yeah. Bye bye, everyone.
Goodbye, and make sure not to piss off any aliens.
Nope, no pissing off of aliens.